Hi, I'm Kevin Spunde, and today we're going to look at Sire bass guitars. Sire is a new brand for Sweetwater, and who are these basses for? Well, I think besides being really great basses for any level of playing experience, these are actually really intriguing for a beginner who's looking to get their first, real bass, or for somebody who's maybe looking to upgrade to an active electronics bass, maybe somebody who's looking for a premium feeling or playing bass that's not wanting to spend, a ton of money. And also, too, maybe anybody who's used to gigging out with an expensive bass but doesn't want to bring, their $5,000 to $10,000 bass with them. Kind of like you might not want to travel abroad with your Rolex, maybe. So I think these are really, really good for a wide range of people. A lot of features for a really good price point, too. So my favorite thing about these basses is you get a real bang for your buck out of them. So I'd say they're really worth twice the value here. They hit way above their weight class with how many features they have. You have bound necks, upgraded inlays, all of the basses across the lines have rolled frets, and you also can do string through body on all the bridges as well. Plus, these have the Marcus Miller Super J Revolution pickups and the Heritage 3 preamp, which is super versatile. At this price point, the electronics are amazing. When you're used to high-end quality basses, you kind of expect maybe subpar electronics, anything under $1,000, but that's definitely not the case with these. These are really, really great sounding, super versatile. That was the first thing I noticed when I plugged them in. Also, too, the gig bags are absolutely phenomenal. They're an optional add-on for the basses, but they're really, really great for the price. So they come with a neck pocket, they come with plenty of space to store your cables, and tons of padding as well. All of the active basses come with the Heritage 3 preamp, and with that you get a 3-band EQ that actually has sweepable mids that goes from 200 Hz to 1000 Hz. Plus, you even get a passive tone knob on there as well, which I really like on active basses. It feels more natural to roll off on a passive tone. The mid sweep is really what makes these basses. So with that, you're able to dial in a really good tone for either slap or fingerstyle or using a pick. Whatever genre that you're playing on a gig, you can get that sound out of these basses. So for instance, with your mid sweep, here's two different types of slap tones that I really like. One with the low mids turned up, and then another with the high mids cut. So kind of rotating both knobs opposite directions. First example is with the low mids turned up a little bit. Now here's the same thing with the high mids now turned down. that's kind of a subtle difference, but it gives you a good idea of different types of tones you can dial in for slap and pop and whatnot. And also too, if you're playing this bass and you notice that there's like way too much highs or anything, I like on active basses using the passive knob to dial out high tone as opposed to just dialing back my highs. So you can get some still clarity out of your high end without getting like too much string noise and too much just noise in general. So just for example, it's the same just quick little chordy thing up high here, but with passive tone rolled down. So when I first heard that we're picking up Sire, I went through and checked out everything they have to offer, and I thought to myself, wow, that's a lot of options. So we're gonna go over kind of where everything differentiates, what the different levels mean and everything like that, so you can understand what would be the right bass for you. So across the whole line, you have V series, P series, U series, D series, and M series. The V series basses are basically just super jazz basses, right? They're really souped up, but at the heart of it, it's 2 J pickups. P series will have a P pickup in there. The U series is short scale, and D series is like a vintage early 50s P bass, and then M series is modern. So think all the modern appointments, 2 coil splitting humbuckers in there, that kind of a thing. The convenient thing about the way they're numbered is the lower the number, the lower the bass. The higher the number, the nicer the bass. So for example, this is a V10, and it's pretty sweet. It's got everything. It's got a roasted maple neck. It's got a flame maple top. It's got all the appointments to it. It's got the custom hardware. It's got a higher mass bridge. So it's really nice. It sounds really good. But the cool thing is even at the low levels, you still get the same pickups and the same electronics in there. So a V3 is gonna have the same pickups and the same electronics. It's still gonna have a rolled fingerboard on there, so it's still gonna feel good and play good. So V5, P5, and D5 are the kind of exception with this lineup. Those are all going to be passive instruments, but the cool thing with them too is they also have roasted maple necks. Also, the P5 and D5 have what I would consider to be, as you would expect, P bass type of neck on there, so it's a little bit wider nut width than everything else. When you upgrade to P7 and V7, you get binding as well as upgraded inlays on the bass, plus you start getting into having alder or swamp ash as a choice between the different basses. Also too, with the V7 versus V7 vintage, is the vintage has a 60s pickup placement or pickup spacing for the jazz pickups, as opposed to the regular V7 or any of the other V series basses, which have a 70s pickup placement on there or spacing. For the M5 and the M7, those actually both have dual coil pickups that you can split, which is really cool. Plus there's an extra switch on there for either series or parallel for the pickup wiring. For the V9 and V10, those both have a solid maple top with a flame maple veneer. How they differ is the V10 has an upgraded roasted flame maple neck and headstock, whereas the V9 has a headstock that matches the body, but it's not a roasted maple neck. So that was a brief overview of Sire basses. If you have any questions about them, or if you want to get one on order, contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. To see more videos like this one, click here, or start at Sweetwater for all of your music, instrument, and pro audio needs.